So county clerks in Texas, according to the Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton, says that any county clerks who object to gay marriage can refuse to issue marriage licenses to same-sex couples, despite, of course, the Supreme Court saying that you must start immediately issuing marriage certificates to same-sex couples who apply. Now, Ken Paxton, who is the Attorney General of Texas, says, no, we're going to just ignore it, because if you don't want to do it, then don't do your job. If you don't believe in it, don't do your job. Don't do your job. Oh, really? You're not going to do your job? That's interesting. Now, I wonder what happens to people who don't do their job. Anybody have a guess? What happens to... oh, yeah, you get fired. You get fired for not doing your job. I wonder if this was this should happen to any county clerks in Texas decide that they don't want to do their job. Now, Paxton said in a statement that hundreds of public officials in Texas were seeking guidance on how to implement what he called a lawless and flawed decision by a quote-unquote activist court. Now, the state's attorney general said that while the Supreme Court justices had fabricated a new constitutional right, ridiculous, they did not diminish, overrule, or call into question the First Amendment rights to free exercise of religion. Now, once again, you have free exercise of religion, but are you taking it into the workplace? Now, the workplace, of course, being the county clerk of Texas, whose job it is to issue marriage licenses. Now, he's saying, like, don't do your job for the state. You can ignore your job because of your religious exemptions. Really, you should not be exempt from doing your job if it's for the state. Now, if it's a private business, it's different. We're not even talking about private businesses. According to Hobby Lobby, if you're a religious institution or a nonprofit, then okay, you can discriminate against LGBT couples if you have a deeply held religious belief. That's also how they can say no to covering birth control. But when it comes to the state, remember, the state can't have a religion. That's also part of the First Amendment. The state cannot establish a religion. So if you have a religious objection to doing something while working for the state, it's called too fucking bad. Do your goddamn job. Now he continues, Paxton does. County clerks and their employees retain religious freedoms that may allow accommodation of the religious objections to issuing same-sex marriage licenses. Now, the strength of any such claim would depend on the facts of the case. Justices of the peace and judges similarly retain religious freedoms and may claim the government cannot force them to conduct same-sex wedding ceremonies over their religious objections. Okay, hold on here. Wedding ceremonies. You get that part? They're not having a wedding ceremony. Anybody who gets married has to go and sign a piece of paper, right? That's what this is. This is a piece of paper. This is a binding legal document. This has nothing to do with a religious ceremony. But see, this is what they do. They're trying to muddy the water on this. Oh, see, they're trying to get these, our state workers issuing these licenses to be part of their ceremonies. Ain't nobody want fucking Bill Paxton, or Ken Paxton. Ain't nobody want Ken Paxton at their wedding. I can tell you that for sure. At least if you're a same-sex couple. What it is being allowed to have that piece of paper going to the Justice of the Peace. I know. That's how I got married. I got married through the Justice of the Peace. I didn't even have a ceremony. My wife and I. But here he says, ceremony. It's the same thing they said about that fucking cake, right? The cake they always bring up. We don't want to be part of the ceremony. You're not part of the ceremony. It's not like they're inviting you. They're making you a fucking cake. Get over it. Now, he noted that officials who refuse to issue marriage licenses could expect to be sued. But don't worry, guys. We got your back. Numerous lawyers stand ready to assist clerks defending their religious beliefs, in many cases on a pro bono basis. I will do everything I can from this office to be a public voice for those standing in defense of their rights. I gotta ask you, what right are you losing? What right are you losing? You're not losing your rights. Maybe you could say, well, you're losing your right to discriminate, which you never had in the first place. You don't have a right to discriminate against people under the law. If you want to hate gay people on your own, do it on your own time. But when you're working for the state, your job is to issue marriage licenses according to the law. And guess what? Gay marriage is the law. As I said, whatever happened to conservatives who are like, you must respect the law. You must respect the rule of law. When defending DOMA, for example, they're always like, sorry, it's the law. DOMA's the law of the land. You must respect the law. But when it comes to this, to granting somebody rights, they don't want to respect the law at all. Classic conservative hypocrisy.